Austin Travis County EMS medics and Austin firefighters will soon have an updated piece of equipment to help keep them safer. Central Texas Public Safety Commission recently announced funding to buy first responders ballistic vests. Joining us now is Austin Travis County EMS Chief Robert Lugwitz. Thank you so much for joining us, Chief.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, we appreciate it. So how has responding to emergencies become more dangerous? And these are the new vests.
These are our new vests. You know, it's been, the past few years, we have seen an increase in the amount of violence against first responders. And I think, you know, one of the most telling is really, it's close to home. Just in the past few months, if you remember, there were those 2 firefighters that were shot and killed up in northern Idaho. And it's evidence to us that we need to make sure that we have the utmost safety equipment, the best safety equipment available for all of our first responders here in Austin.
Absolutely. And we're specifically talking about gun violence, right? Targeting first responders. What is behind that? It's
hard to say what's behind, you know, what the reasoning is behind it. But regardless of what the reason is, we have to be able to respond to it. And we need to, you know, we're on the front lines there. Our staff are on the front lines. And in order for them to be out there assisting folks, rescuing folks, treating patients, they need to have the safety devices to be able to protect them, because sometimes we don't know what's going to happen.
That's right. You guys need to, in order to save lives, you have to protect yourselves. All right, tell us the difference between the old ones and these new ones.
Yeah, so these vests here, you know, we've been kind of had ballistic vests on our ambulances since the late 1980s or so. But they're big, they're bulky, and they're really hard to use. And you know, in order to make it easier for folks to utilize them, we've invested in these. These are different materials inside. They're quite a bit lighter, about 10 pounds lighter.
And they allow makes a difference.
Yeah, and it allows a little more flexibility. So, you know, the feedback we've gotten from the crews is with these new vests, they're able to more easily treat patients, get in there, and they're not restricted in the motion like they were with their old vests.
What have you heard from your men and women about, what's their reaction about getting these?
I think everyone is very happy. Like I said, you know, we know Austin's a real hot place to live. We were just listening to the weather a second ago. And being able to have something that's a little bit lighter, a little more breathable. You can see it's got some breathable pockets back here. It makes it so that it's easier to wear, it's more comfortable wear, which increases the amount of time that people are going to wear it. You know, last year we saw about 14,000 hours worth of time just in EMS that our crews had these vests on. And that's a long time. We want to make sure that they're comfortable.
And we're not talking about a couple. The commission gave you guys $175,000. That's not a small price tag. How many of these vests approximately?
Yeah, it's about 90 vests or so, and it's really enough for us to be able to get 2 vests for each of our ambulances, to be able to make sure that all of our frontline ambulances have these vests in them, so that the crews that are out there each and every day.
Do we know when they'll be deployed?
So we have some of them now. You know, we've deployed them on some of our single unit responders, some of our paramedics that are out there on their own, and over the next few months, as we get through funding, we'll start, you know, ordering them and getting them out, and over the next few months, we should have them out on all our trucks.
Well, Chief, thank you so much for bringing one to show us and to inform us about what's going on.
Thanks so much for having us.
Appreciate your time.